Hello, Miami. This is 305 Sports Now, your home podcast and channel for all things Miami sports related. I am Will, and throughout the season in the last recruiting cycle, the question is, can Miami land a top receiver out in the edges? Okay, can Miami land a top receiver? Now, for the 2023 recruiting cycle, unfortunately, that was not the case, but that doesn't mean that there aren't individuals interested within the transfer portal and within the 2024 class. And I want to go over a couple of them, one from the transfer portal and the other one from the 2024 class. Okay, so my question is, can Shannon Dawson, the new OC for the Miami Hurricanes, bring a top tier receiver to the fold? And I honestly think yes. Okay, I think that Shannon Dawson's offense, the fact that it has led to a lot of points and he has been successful in various stops does and will attract top tier wide receivers. The first one I want to go over is Bryant Jr. Bryant Jr., the standout out of California, the former USC Trojan, enters the transfer portal. If he was to become a Cane, would have 3 years of eligibility left. He has shown interest in the Miami Hurricanes, and I think the fact that we have gone from a power spread, pure run, Josh Gaddis style offense to now an air raid type offense, which benefits wide receivers. Bryant Jr. has become, pretty much a much higher priority for the Canes, meaning that the Canes want him, and I think Gary Bryant Jr. will want to become a Miami Hurricane. All right, Gary Bryant Jr., if you don't know much about him, he's 5'11", 180 pounds, okay? He didn't play much in 2022, but he had a very, very strong 2021 season with 44 catches, 579 yards, okay? 7 touchdowns, and 13.2 yards per reception, okay? He's unbelievable. He's not just a guy that can cause separation. He is also an individual that you could use, in wide receiver screens and bubble screens and swing passes as well. As a slot receiver, in slants and so on and hitches. He has the ability to make guys miss and run for big plays. Okay, jet sweeps as well. So he is a multifaceted receiver. Like I said, he's a very polished runner, great at causing separation. He'll be a great asset for the University of Miami, and he'll obviously stretch the field. Okay, and that'll be great for the offense because it'll allow the slot receivers, which are, by the way, very talented, that Miami has, guys like Rashard Smith, guys like Xavier Restrepo, and in the incoming receivers like both Joseph and Washington, to fast and feast and eat and gain a lot of yards, because this offense, again, because of the fact it's basically putting your receivers, your playmakers in space, allowing them to do their thing once they have the football, will benefit, the slot receivers greatly as well. But having a receiver that can stretch the field makes things even easier for everybody, okay? Now, the one guy I do want to talk about is from the 2024 class, because his recruitment has been quite interesting, all right, or is getting off to an interesting start, and let me explain why. JoJo Trader, okay? I'm sure some of you have heard that name out there. JoJo Trader, the 5-star receiver out of Chaminade Madonna, okay, is listed by the Crystal Balls, by 247 Sports, to be a Miami Hurricane. This is a guy that Miami has got to get. At 6'1.5", 170 pounds. He will get bigger. He is just a junior. This is a guy that is a prototypical receiver that you could do whatever you need to do to make sure that your team is successful. You can high point the ball to JoJo Trader. You can get him. You can get him in space. You can also have him, run jet sweeps as well, as just like Gary Bryant Jr. You could have him you can have him catch slants. You can have him, pretty much catch the ball in open space. He is very effective at making guys miss. Shifty as heck, right? As well. Just look at his huddle, right? Shifty as heck. Great hands, smooth hands, as does Gary Bryant Jr. So he's a guy that you must get, and he's showing great interest for the University of Miami. And the reason why I say that, because again, the crystal ball has been listed for him to become a Cane, and when that was listed, Miami didn't even have an offensive coordinator. As a matter of fact, Miami doesn't even have a wide receivers coach yet. Okay, yet he's still showing great interest for the Miami Hurricanes. His top recruiter, all right, the man in charge of his recruitment, and this is why I think he needs a promotion, because you need to give this guy an on-field position, and you need to make sure he stays, is DeMarcus Van Dyke, right? Yes, DeMarcus Van Dyke, the one that gave us Damari Brown, and also for a while, was able to get a commitment out of Cormani McClain, all right, has been on the heels of JoJo Trader, and he's been in communication with JoJo Trader. DeMarcus Van Dyke is not a wide receiver. Okay, he's a cornerback. his specialties defense. Okay. Yet, the conversation between those two that those two have been having has had JoJo Trader show interest in the University of Miami. Imagine if Shannon Dawson's system is successful. Okay. Imagine if you get a wide receivers coach like James Coley or Kevin Beard to come in and be able to coach this kid, because those two guys have had success in coaching receivers. Imagine if you can do that. All right. The flood of people, of receivers wanting to come to the University of Miami will be immense. All right. And why? Because this offense is geared to make you successful. And let me explain why. Okay. I just talked a little bit about Bryant Jr. I just mentioned, the upside of JoJo Trader, all right, as well. But again, as mentioned, if you haven't heard my previous podcast, in 3 seasons that Dawson ran the offense, Houston had 87 touchdowns and 10,000 plus receiving yards. I'm not even going the running numbers, okay? The best receiver that Houston had last year was a guy named Nathaniel Dell. Nathaniel Dell had 109 catches for 1,398 yards and 17 touchdowns, okay? 17 touchdown receptions for Nathaniel Dell. And one thing about the OC, about Shannon Dawson, he likes a rotation of receivers and he loves to spread the ball around, okay? Last year, 14 receivers, this is also including running backs and tight ends, 14 receivers, all right, caught the football. 14 guys, 8 of them were wide receivers. So it's very beneficial for someone who is a wide receiver to be a part of this offense, because they will get their touches. All right. They will get their touches, they will get their receptions, and they will get their yards at their catch. Okay. Houston's offense ranked 8th last year in passing. All right. Their quarterback, as I mentioned, had 40 touchdowns. I mean, it is absolutely insane. Okay. The numbers that Houston put up. Imagine Dawson's offense at a Power 5 where the athletes on paper are better than what Houston has. The sky's the limit. Got to remember, okay, Tyler Van Dyke was a potential Heisman Trophy candidate coming in, and he balled in this kind of an offense. Okay, he was absolutely spectacular. Okay, he had about 6 games in 2021 with over 300 yards passing, and that's what the quarterback out of Houston, Clayton Thune, averaged. Okay, as a quarterback, over 300 yards passing for the whole season. Okay, so this is a great. Plus, they ran the ball well as well at Houston. This is a great offense that benefits everybody: the quarterback, the wide receivers, the running backs, the tight ends, etc., and the offensive line as well. So I'm really, really excited to see what Coach Dawson brings to the table as far as offenses go. Listen, Miami needs to keep these guys home. Okay, Miami has lost these kind of receivers to schools like Ohio State and Alabama for too long now. All right. The reason why a guy like Brandon Inniss went to Ohio State is because Ryan Day, and I'm not a fan of Ohio State at all. I can't stand that school, and his fan base gets on my nerves. All right. But Ryan Day loves to throw the football. Okay. And he always has good quarterback play as well. That system is geared for wide receivers to put up big numbers over at Ohio State. Okay. Over in Columbus. So the bottom line is that Miami needs to do something like that to attract those 5-star, 4-star, high 4-star kind of wide receivers, those playmakers that this team desperately needs. And it needed it last year, and it needs it this year. Okay, as well. We're good at slot, but that wide area needs a major upgrade. Okay, as far as things go, to say the least. So I do think that this system would benefit a guy like JoJo Trader. Okay, would benefit a guy like Bryant Jr. It's going to benefit all the receivers, including the tailbacks as well. We all saw what an air raid type offense did for the Hurricanes for 2 seasons under Rhett Lashley. With Coach Dawson, it's going to be the same thing. And I will say this, I do believe, again, at the tailback position, at the slot receiver position, and also at the offensive line, Miami did upgrade. So this is going to be a very interesting year. It's a make or break year for Coach Cristobal, because the one thing I will give him credit for, and a lot of Oregon fans have said that he's just too stuck in his ways, is that he decided to switch things up a bit and go with a more pass-happy offensive-minded OC than he's had in the previous past, where it's been much more of a balanced approach to the offense. Okay, I spoke with Manny Matsakis. If you guys don't remember Manny was my first guest ever on 305 Sports Now. I call him the OG, all right, of my guests. He came from Mike Leach. Okay, he came from Mike Leach. He's a coach with Mike Leach over at Texas Tech, so he knows Dana Holgorsen. He knows Art Briles, all those people that came with Mike Leach, and he knows Coach Dawson as well. And he says as long as he's not micromanaged, the Miami Hurricanes are going to be a very good football team offensively. By the way, Coach Matsakis will be on the show on Friday, so please stay tuned for that interview. It will be on Friday. All right, I'll be airing it as a 2-part series as well. Okay, so once again, I'm excited. Do I think that Coach Dawson is going to bring a lot of excitement back to Miami Hurricanes, offensively speaking? Absolutely. Okay. Do I think that he's going to attract better talent at the wide receiver position because of his style of play? Absolutely. Okay. So the sky's the limit, folks. I'm a very optimistic fan, as you could tell. But remember, okay, I know it's on paper. We got to play it on the field. But ladies and gents, I feel good about this. Okay. And I feel good about our situation right now. All right, guys. If you like what you heard, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share 305 Sports Now. Once again, I am Will. Stay safe. God bless. See you soon. Go Canes.